real estate power jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
It is a power jacket.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually quit.
Welcome to the BoyFriends podcast, where we help you find your circle and
your man.
I'm Jarrod D King, and I am so excited to be back. It has been way too long, but as you can see, we have a new co-host joining us. Everyone, welcome Noel.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then I'm also joined by our returning co-host Renee. How's everything been? Why don't we get like a quick recap before we jump into this topic, because we have a good one. Noel, why don't you give us a quick introduction? Let us know who you are and what you do and that kind of thing.
I'm a chef in the city. I have my own business.
Okay.
I do meal prep.
Meal prep? Okay.
Yeah. Been a chef for about 25 years, and I just have a lot of experience and stuff to say. I've been through some things, some drama.
Yeah, I mean, we all have, and that's why this show kind of like works. It's because everybody has had some of these kind of like crazy or like really good experiences, and we can kind of like all come to the table with that.
Yeah.
Trauma bonding.
Yay.
Renee, what's been up? What's new?
Honestly,
I love this color.
Honestly, really nothing all that new going on for me. I've just been trying to save a lot of money because I really want to move this year, not away from Philly, but just like closer to the city. So I've just been focusing on that, reading a lot. I'm trying to read, but it's so hard.
I know.
It's
in today's TikTok
hard.
culture, I just feel like my attention span has shrunk. Like I used to be able to read books.
Do audiobooks.
There you go.
I don't, but that'll make me fall asleep.
I used to do, like, when I would drive to work, I would, like, listen to an audiobook or, like, a podcast.
I don't know
or
why,
something.
but I feel like that doesn't count for some reason.
What, as far as reading?
Yeah.
I know. It kind of feels like cheating, but you're not. You're reading.
Yeah, you're reading.
You're reading.
Oh, my gosh.
So we do have one other co-host joining us, but he will not be with us until episode 5. So we're waiting for you, Mike.
We love you, Mike.
Yep.
back.
But
Yeah.
for now, it's just the three of us, and we're going to have a great conversation. As far as my own little update, I really have just been trying to focus on what I need to do to get this podcast together. I was looking at different studios and stuff, and I was looking at all the stuff that y'all don't really care about. But anyway, we have a nice refreshed kind of space, and a refreshed kind of
It's
look.
beautiful.
And
I stole a plant from another room. That was my contribution. So you're welcome.
yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anyway, our topic today comes from a viewer. This comes from Grant Burkhalter.
Hi, Grant.
Hi, Grant.
Hi, Grant. And the question is, are my standards too high? Now, a lot of times we will go into relationships and we'll have these bad experiences, and then we'll say, no, I'm never doing that again, or I'm never doing that again, I'm never doing that again. But then all of those things start stacking up, and then it's like, okay, do you get to a point where it's like, am I being unrealistic? Why don't we start with like where your standards are?
Right now.
Yeah.
He can't start with me because he knows that I have too many.
Too many. My standards are what I want for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that I have met or would meet, if this didn't work out between me and my partner,
This isn't real wood.
they would have to reflect the standards of what I want for myself,
Mm-hmm.
because I want someone that's gonna be my equal. So I don't lower my standards in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is like not top tier. I always do more than I should. I always like am ahead of myself, prepared, and I want that person to have the same thing for themselves. If not, then it should be open and willingly to like learn from. That's what I want, just like back and forth. Like, if you can't see my way of living, how it is not, I'm not at all saying that like I am expensive, I don't buy things like that, but like just life, like survival. I've always wanted to just survive.
You're on top of your stuff.
On top of my stuff to survive.
Yeah.
Period. And that other person should have the same mentality. Like, you have to survive with or without me. Because I say this now to my partner now. I'm like, we're together now, and my goal is to help us move along this journey together as partnership.
Yeah.
and I want you to get there with or without me.
What about you? What are your standards?
I feel like standards can get a little mixed up with what I favor sometimes. I do favor a man who's a bit well off. They know exactly what they want. They have it. They're sweet and kind. I think that is a good standard to
Confident?
have.
Confident?
Yeah, confident. Yeah. Maybe even like a little shy. But I just, I mean, as you know, for straight men, the bar's on the floor. Like, my God, the devil has tripped over that bar so many times. It's so low. And it's in the depths of hell. But I just like, honestly, at this point, I just want someone who's honest, who values the same things that I value, who will be nice to me. Like, that is not hard. I feel like that shouldn't be that hard to find.
No, not at all.
And I think that being nice to me is definitely an all-encompassing thing of, you know, are they there for me? You know, will they listen to me cry? Will they comfort me? It's kind of weird because I feel like I don't really realize my standards until I see exactly what I don't want. And then I'm like, no.
Well, that's just trial and error of life.
Yeah. And so I just like, I will always give a guy a chance. I mean, there are always like those red and orange flags all kind of ping. And I know that we've talked about how both of us have like the highest of standards, but let me tell you, I have thrown away so many red flags with a man. Yeah. And I'm still like, you know what? I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I've been there too.
I should have stuck to my standards because like I feel like so many people are just like, your standards are too high. Like if you really want a boyfriend, you should lower your standards. It's like I don't want a boyfriend. I want a partner.
Yeah.
Right.
I want this person is supposed to be with me in my life.
See, it's interesting because I feel like a lot of times when people ask, like, when we talk about standards being too high, or when we say that, sometimes we mix in like, you know, stuff like physical features or like how much money they make or like where are they living, that kind of thing. Do they like to travel? Like, do you guys think that those standards or those types of things, like are they as important?
They are important because like first is attraction. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, he looks good looking, handsome, whatever. Not, you know, that's for me is one thing first. Mm-hmm. Like, are they physically attractive? Yes.
Yeah.
I honestly think that there is a difference between someone being attractive and you being attracted to them.
Yeah.
So
what is the difference?
Like if I look at a guy and I'm like, wow, he's really attractive, but like that doesn't necessarily mean I'm attracted to him. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. That's
you
true.
know, like I'll see him, I'm like, God, he's like really hot, but eh.
There's a lot of guys that like are just gorgeous and beautiful, whatever, and there's just nothing else besides the face.
Yeah.
But I've met men that are not as attractive, but they have this like spirit and personality. I was like, oh, there's something sexy about this person.
So that is definitely a standard. I feel like.
You think it is?
Being attracted to someone, yeah, that's definitely a standard.
Well, yeah. I want to.
Not them necessarily being like attractive to the rest of the world. Being attracted to them, I think, is a big standard.
It goes so many ways. I feel I've been attracted to the most beautiful men, not so beautiful men, and toxic men.
Yeah.
Toxic men.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as I'm concerned, like as far as like my standards, I kind of like echo what you guys are kind of saying. Like it's those things of, I think loyalty is really like that's something that I learned is really big for me. It's like even if I'm wrong in some situations, like, don't get me in public. Like, let's talk about this. Pull me to the side, but, like, stand next to me in the moment. Or, like, at least try to quiet down, like, if I'm having a moment. I don't get crazy. I don't have moments. But
I had one with my partner, and it was very uncomfortable. Like, I'm not confrontational, but sometimes like you get into that headspace where it's like so like you can't control it, and then you start to outburst. And you're like, what did I just do? And it's like that's not me. Yeah. But like you said, like until you're in a situation, like you just don't know what your mind and body will react to.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's sometimes scary because like what's happening to my mind right now? Where like I didn't think that like this before. until a person can change that for you.
Somebody can really take you outside of yourself. It's crazy.
You have no
and like
idea.
honestly, I think there are sometimes too when like your standards will drop for a person because they have one of your other standards and they're magnificent at that standard, and then like you're just like, I guess I can drop this one.
So that's another.
That's okay.
That's another thing.
I can tuck it away. Don't do that.
Do you guys have trouble sticking to your standards?
Honestly, yeah, because again, these bitches telling me that my standards are too high, and it makes me feel like, I don't know, like, honestly, like self-conscious, like, oh, maybe I am.
When somebody else says that your standards are too high, what do they mean? What do you think they mean?
Okay, well, one of the ones that I get a lot is, oh, Renee, you can't just want men that have money. First of all, I attract them, so that's not my fault. Secondly, that's not even like a standard that I look for. I think the standard for me that people think is too high is where they live. You know, sorry, men from New Jersey, but I won't date you. One, because I don't have a car, and I'm not about to go on a train ride just to go to your condo.
But they're worth it though.
No, I don't want to. I like seeing someone every day, and I'm not about to go take a train for an hour.
What if he's like the most gorgeous, nicest, wall off, like gives you everything what you want?
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Listening to you, hold you when you cry.
That's just like one of the standards that I have. Like, I want to date someone who's in a close proximity of,
and they're just a choo-choo away. You just never know.
Well, I don't want to go a choo-choo away. Like, I'm okay with like 20 minutes, but like to get from where I am currently.
What do you think Jersey is from here?
No, to get from where I am presently, from my apartment to New Jersey, is like an hour and a half. No, I don't want to go that far.
I do.
Okay, understood. I mean, maybe they have a car. Maybe you can stay over. Maybe you can do you work from home?
Do you see this? Do you see?
I'm just giving you.
This is literally. I set my standard. And
I don't want you to cut off Jersey like that. I know Jersey has its. I know. I get it.
I'm from there.
Dear, I don't. Okay, like I literally don't mean just because you're from Jersey.
I get it. It's a distance thing.
It's literally just a distance thing. It's
right.
like if you live there right now. I don't care if you were born or from Jersey. A lot of Jersey people are cool, but like I don't want to go to Jersey just to go see you. Mm-hmm. I like someone who's nearby. Like, I already have my family all the way in California. I have my friends like living already like a half hour from me. I have friends all over the country. Like, if it's someone who's intimate in my life, I want to be able to like see them and hold them and be near them. Like, not all the time, but I don't want to have to travel that far just to go see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is one of my standards, and I know I'm probably gonna get so much flack for that.
Well, you're gonna get a lot of Jersey guys in your DMs because of that.
Because I don't want to go to Jersey.
I'm gonna drive you back. I'm gonna drive you back and forth.
Please don't. I don't want to. I don't. No. Philly man,
Jump in
hit
the
me
DMs.
Up. New Jersey man, I'm so sorry. I am lazy. I don't want to.
All right. So anyway, we were talking about sticking to your standards.
Yeah.
Some of the deeper ones that are important, like trust and honesty and like being supportive and all that stuff. But I mean, if the guy's like 6 foot tall with abs and a big, what?
What?
A what?
What?
Peonies?
I said peonies, and I was like,
peonies.
Peonies.
But it's like that's when it gets a little. It's like, okay, you wanna just sit on the couch, okay? But it's and I'm not saying, but I'm saying like that's where it gets hard. It's like when you have the full aesthetic package,
yes.
Then the other things tend to be a little less important sometimes when you're faced with it. And
I used to think that, but I love getting older because I don't know. I feel like my monitors just like completely shut down as soon as I see what I don't like. Because my last date that I went on, he was a very, very sexy lifeguard. Way too hot for me. I will say that now. I don't know how I bagged it. It doesn't make any sense. He was way too hot for me. But no, he was tall. He was pretty cute and like sort of funny. Funny.
No.
I had to bring that out
Sounds
of him.
like the one who got away.
No.
Maybe because he's seasonal.
So but like so we were just talking, we were getting to know each other, and like he was a lifeguard, and it's not like they make that much dough, but like he probably made like the same salary as me, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to start making more. I want to work towards, being my own sugar daddy. I want a sugar daddy. I want the cheat code first, but it's fine. I'll get there. But it's like I started to ask him, like, okay, so like what, like, so after like lifeguarding, like, what do you want to do? Like, you just moved to the city. Like, what do you see like yourself in 5 years or something like that? And he's just like, I don't really know. Probably a lifeguard.
Oh. Yeah.
Of a health spa.
And it's like, you're like, whatever makes you happy. Like, if you are straight up fucking chilling as a lifeguard and you don't need anything else, I think that's fucking fantastic. Like, do your shit. That's just,
it's just not for you.
It's not for me. Like,
yeah.
I want to live comfortably. Like, I don't want to have to worry about, like, hey, where are we going on vacation this summer? And I don't want to like hustle and have and like have all these side jobs just to be able to like go on a nice vacation. I don't want that for myself, and that's what I'm working towards. And if someone is already there or is working the same as hard as I am to get there, that's the person for me.
Right.
That's the person for me. And he just wasn't. He was so hot though. It was a toughie.
It's hard to let. It's hard to like.
But then he also didn't pay for my half. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, hot is not enough.
Hot is not enough anymore, men.
No. Absolutely not.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so have dating failures forced you to raise your standards?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what has been the biggest change from, like, how you dated before and what you look... I mean, I know you're in a relationship now, but, like, how have your standards morphed, and how has the way that you've picked people, how was that changed?
all my warning signs that I had from my previous relationships. And when I met new people, I just wanted to hear their story first and then their situation.
Okay.
Like, I went on, after being with someone of 6 years, I never actually dated before.
Okay.
So I didn't know how to date.
Wow.
I just would go on the apps and just go on like 3-4 dates a week, and that's just drinks. No dinner, just meet up at a bar.
Okay, how do you do 3 to 4 dates a week on the apps? How does that happen?
Well,
I know, like,
it's technically rhetorical because I'm just like, how?
So
how do you have the energy?
For a while, I was just single.
Mm-hmm.
I was off the app.
That's how we got skinny.
I wasn't talking about the energy. I'm talking about how do you find people to go on these dates with you? Because I feel like...
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Think about it. I was off the market for like 6 years, not on the app for 6 years. And then once I got on the app after I was with my person, I was new.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, who's this? Who's that? And then I would, go on these dates with these people, and if they wanted to meet me, I wasn't going to be a hookup at their house or my house. Let's meet up somewhere public over a beer or wine, whatever. And then I got a feel of what they wanted.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were not ready for anything that I was looking for.
Yeah.
They were either living with their parents, which is fine.
It's okay.
Which is fine.
I really didn't need y'all to point that out.
We can edit that in post.
I'm trying to make this podcast pop, okay?
Which is completely fine.
Right.
But
We have 1, 2, 3 angles.
if you're wanting,
Just that's the rent for a year. 1, 2, 3.
if they're living with their parents, which is completely fine, I want to make sure that if we date, am I okay to go to your home? Do you have to sneak around? Are you out to your parents?
I've not done that.
That's important to me too. Live with your parents. Like, save as much as you need. Like, some people were dating still live with their exes. I'm like, I'm not touching that. Nope.
Yeah, that's a big ball of
I was like, nope, you're not.
Extra.
We're not dating while you're sleeping on your ex-boyfriend's couch. Not doing that.
Yeah.
So those were red flags
Damn,
for me.
people have audacity.
Honey.
On top of audacity.
Honey. I was like, oh, maybe we should have a Golden Girls night. We'll do it at my place. Oh, where do you live? Like, I live with my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, yo, no, absolutely not. And then try to come to my space. I'm like, then we'll never get there because you're in that situation. I don't
Yeah.
wanna put myself there for
Yeah.
you. No matter how hot you are, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like when I first started on dating apps, I was going on dates a lot.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like I think even my dating app standards have gone up because when I first started doing it, I was like, oh my god, he's cute. Oh, he's cute. But now you start picking up on like little profile hints, and you're like, I feel like every single time I go out with a guy that says above 6 foot, since that matters. That's not original, by the way.
I hate that.
Every single time I've gone out with a guy on a dating app that's had that exact line.
What does that mean?
Because like women apparently don't like short men, which is so untrue. It's
weird. It's
not,
like you
that is,
obviously put your height up there because you because it matters to you that somebody else sees
and like
that.
So
and
then
you try
they'll
to pass it off like
and they'll pass it off like I'm like putting your standard in front of your face because this matters to you. It's like really doesn't. You could be a short king, I'll be all over you.
Look at Zendaya and
yeah, exactly. But so I learned every single time I went out with one of those guys that put that in their bio, they're a piece of trash. And annoying, and they did not have a personality. Mm-hmm. They didn't, or if they only had like, never check this app, Snapchat me. Snapchat you for like, are you 5?
You're rerouting your social media to another social media platform.
Yeah, like you're like I have to like
find you.
So
Scooby-Doo?
I get I get like an alternative method of communication away from the app because sometimes the apps will not notify you, but. I don't know. I mean,
Jen.
No.
Yeah. Sometimes I will when I was on Tinder, it would be I would get a message, but I wouldn't know it till like 4 or 5 hours after I got the message.
Okay, that's fine though. 4 or 5 hours. That's
fine. That's normal.
Fine. That's a normal.
I mean, that's
response time.
Yeah. No, I know, but I tend to be prompt, number one, and. I'm like, you're in the flow of communication. That's just how I am.
I get that too.
And then I would, if I would normally respond at a certain time, then I would not want to be, stifled by an app notification that doesn't want to show up. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I do get that, but at the same time, in my experience, and that's why I have like this weird standard of a guy who like for some reason has their Snapchat handle in their bio of their dating app.
Well, in the bio of the dating app.
That's what I mean. It's in the bio.
It's like, okay, what are we doing?
Like,
I'll just follow you there.
Okay.
Or their Instagram. Then they want an Instagram follower and they're never going to text you back.
Yeah.
Or that could be like, look at my pictures to see what in my day life is.
Yeah.
But that's why
I used to do that.
No,
really?
but that's why you connect your Instagram to the profile.
I did it as another way to look into like my life of what I did because I'm more active on Instagram than anything.
Okay, but did you just put your Instagram up there, or did you say like?
Oh no, I put like a whole brief pamphlet of what I'm about, and then here's my handle.
Okay, that's a
no.
little
But I'm
bit
saying
different.
like what was the line for the handle? Did you just have like a handle at the bottom of the paragraph with nothing attached to it, or was it like if you want to see more of what blah blah, check out my Instagram?
Sure. It was something on the word like something like that. Yeah, I was like, come discover.
Okay, so your intent was basically to allow people to see a little bit more.
Because I would like that too. I want to see like what you post, what kind of person you are.
I do like that, but then
a little bit.
No.
I get what he means, but like also you don't have to put it in your bio.
That's
you can just like say like, hey, when you're messaging
Googling
each
somebody
other, I'm not
before you go on the date. That's what that is.
As a woman though, I do that so I don't get murdered. No, for real. This girl, this was a thing on TikTok. She matched with a guy on Tinder, and she looked him up, and he was like wanted for stalking and battering women.
Oh my God.
Well,
Don't do Google.
Yeah.
People are
Well,
crazy.
okay. So the thing is like you have to think about like how you're getting your, or like what the mindset is when you're getting that information. Are you doing it for safety reasons? Or are you doing it because you're nosy? I would like to meet the person and learn who they are that way, instead of making a lot of assumptions based off of pictures and posts and stuff like
That's
that.
true.
I mean,
One time I did figure out that a guy was a Capricorn, and I did not go to the first date.
You found his birthday on
Problematic.
Yeah, I did find out that he was a Capricorn. And
What's wrong with Capricorn?
I don't like Capricorn men. Capricorn women, boss bitches, but Capricorn men, I just can't do it.
That's December?
December into January.
It's my mom.
It's my dad. Love you, Dad.
Control freak. Hi, Mom.
Okay, so if you had to give advice to somebody who is kind of like struggling with the idea of like, am my standards too high? Like when I'm going on dates, am I asking too much of these guys that I'm meeting?
If it's getting to a point where your standards have made the dating pool so small that there's, I don't know, like that you're not really able to connect with like anyone, then maybe loosen them up. I'm not saying like throw them all out, but just like loosen them up and see and try to explore again. So like maybe that like what gave you the experience that gave you that such high of a standard, it could have been a one-time off thing, and you don't like you. Of course, you never know. So it's always good to give people a chance.
Yeah.
If you do give that person a chance and you have let that standard slip, and you keep thinking about it, and you're just like, oh, they're great, but I don't think that I think you should keep that standard. If you keep saying but, and you keep mentioning that one standard, I think that is probably a core standard for you, and you shouldn't drop it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I feel like I think it's fine to like have standards, but then like also to hear them out first. Like just taking what they can offer first, and see if there's red flags. Then to address them. Like
So like
Or
give
you
them.
could even like approach them about the standard that they're not meeting in a nice way.
A nice way.
Yeah. Just like let's just say like it's coming off that they are fine with like living not so well off, and they're like cool chilling there. But then, like, if you just kind of ask them, like, like, this is kind of what I want out of life, or, do you see this for yourself one day?
Yeah.
Is there a reason you don't want to, kind of thing? And if, they're just like, oh, well, I just said that because blah, 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 then, maybe they could meet your standard. They're just not there at the moment.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I don't think anyone's standards are too high. I feel like you want what you want, and I think there's just a level.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of shifting the importance of certain standards.
Yeah.
When we started this conversation, we were talking about the importance of being self-sustaining, or what was one of yours? It's like we were talking about those
local.
local.
I need a local bae.
That's one of the ones that is like a little bit on the lower end of the rung, but it's like
No, it's pretty up. It's pretty high up there.
it's not as good. It's not as like you want somebody who's like, if you had to choose between somebody who was
Like if she were to slip and fall, he's like there nearby to go get her.
Yes, I need that.
That's the kind of person that
okay.
that she wants.
I mean, you always go to the safety route in order to make your point, and it's just like, come on.
I'm so sorry. Is safety too high of a standard?
No.
It's not, but it's just like it's like a little bit of a cop out of an argument.
not
It's
a
like, come
cop-out.
on. We were talking about
I don't think
taking you to the hospital. We were talking about that.
Okay, listen. I'm just saying.
You were saying you don't want to travel. You don't want to take an hour and a half, and that's. I get it. That's fine. But I'm saying that is a little bit different than somebody who is going to support you emotionally, mentally, and just like be a good partner.
But I do also think about it this way. I often think of futures as well. So, like, in the future, I don't want to move to New Jersey.
What if
and
they're
are they going to
willing
move to Philadelphia?
What if they can relocate?
To Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Then yeah, it.
Or
Like,
you
let's
go to Jersey.
No, absolutely not.
Anyway.
Why not?
Anyway,
really
what I
like
was
it.
saying was,
Do you?
I do.
I don't like New Jersey.
I want to go back to Jersey.
Go there.
I shall.
Christ.
And I will.
This is what I'm
I will
saying.
visit you
Oh,
once a year.
okay.
All right.
Sorry.
I want to say this because with your traveling thing, like when I met my partner, he lived borderline Delaware, Pennsylvania, Chatsford area. It's like 45 minutes away. I'm like, it's a hike. But like I took that commute all the time because of what he was giving me.
It's harder for me to take that commute though. I don't have a car.
Or he came to me.
Okay. Sure. If you live in Jersey and you have absolutely no problem traveling a half hour, not
Do
a
you
half
hear
hour,
that,
but like
man?
an hour and a half every single time, and I will never go to New Jersey, then yeah, sure.
What if he's like, oh babe, like come over to
No.
my house and make you dinner?
No.
All right.
Oh well.
So, anyway,
Cheers.
your standards. I was trying to make a point.
I'm so
trying to
sorry.
understand, trying to get back to where I was. Yeah, you can have whatever standards, but I feel like the things that are going to last in a relationship are important. So those things like trustworthiness, those things like having somebody that's really going to support you, having somebody who's always going to like kind of be by your side, and somebody who's going to be loving and attentive and that kind of a support for you. I think those are the core things that we need to go into dating situations and kind of prioritize. You can want somebody who's really hot. You can want somebody who's got a lot of money or whatever that. Like if that's part of, but those things you have to hold in like a bucket kind of below it. Like you've got your like deep personal standards, and then you've got your like, you know, your little frivolous. I don't even call it frivolous, but
quirks.
I don't know. But
Like
y'all
pet
get what
peeves?
I'm saying though, right? Like you get your other little standards,
Yeah.
and those are the things that you can kind of like negotiate with. Like,
Right.
okay, they may not be the most handsome person in the world, but they still are attractive. So it's not like
There's
you make some things. Keep those important things up there and hold strong to those things when you go into dating situations.
At least your beginning standards of meeting someone, because they'll always change with the progression of the relationship.
Right.
And when you're faced with different things, you're like, oh shit, that's different. This is not my new standard. New standard, and it's gonna always change.
Right. That's another thing. I mean, that's an important point. Is because it's like when you get into a relationship, people change.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to kind of go with the flow of those changes, or try to figure out how to maneuver it so that it doesn't break the relationship.
Yeah. You pick your battle of what's important and what's not important.
Yeah.
Like, this is probably like, ooh, I hate when they do that, but it's like, is it really that important to always bring it up and then fucking cause an argument over the same shit over again?
That's actually what I really like about my sister and her husband, because they both dated like one person before they met each other. They met in college. Lucky bitches. And they're they truly are soulmates. And it's kind of cute because both of their standards for dating just like continue to get high, but like with each other. You know, like Khalid had, a standard of wanting a girl who knew how to cook, because like he likes a home cooked meal, and he is a really good cook. Khalid, if you're watching, your gumbo is amazing. And so Raquel was just like, yeah, no, I can meet that standard. I'm gonna learn how to cook. Raquel became like a really great cook. And Raquel was like, I want a man who like knows what he wants and knows that he wants me. And Khalid like became that man who's like, I like only want Raquel, and that's it. And it was really cool to watch them grow their standards together and like become each other's standards. Pretty sure if they knock on fake wood, and I don't think that they ever would, but they would have the worst time trying to find someone else, because they're literally each other's perfect person, because they like, even if they didn't meet each other's standards at first, they they express their standards, and then they're like, great, I love you so much, I want to meet that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's I think that that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I hope that I can have that someday.
Well, in that situation, like, let's talk about a hypothetical couple like that, who then breaks up, and then like, how do they then have to lower their standards in order to be successful at dating?
I don't want to say lower, but I think that they'll have to know their core standards.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of realize what are their like lower tier standards.
Yeah.
And ones that like, okay, well, if you don't have it right now, we can talk about it later.
Yeah.
You can have that standard.
I mean, one thing that I would say, I mean, I guess for anybody kind of listening to this is like, just a practical idea would just be to like write down what you're looking for.
Pros and cons.
Yeah. And try to thin out the list as much as you can so that you don't have too many, you're not looking for, 20 different things. Try to section it off like top tier and then second tier, something like that.
What's your like top 5? Like your top 5?
Ooh, my top 5. Loyalty is up there. I want somebody who is supportive, somebody who can fight fairly, which meaning if we're in an argument or if we have some kind of a disagreement, that it doesn't devolve into character assassination, name calling, that whole thing.
Oh my God, I hate people like that.
We have to be able to hear each other, and if we get to a point where we're like, okay, we're not hearing each other, let's take a beat and come back and talk some more. That's what I mean by like fighting fairly. Like, let's not try, and then let's not try to like gaslight each other and that whole thing. Like, let's have an actual conversation. Those would be my top 3, and then they have to be good looking.
Stop it.
And I guess, I mean, then we get to the frivolous ones. Like I would like them to be a good looking man, and then I would like them to be like a versatile top or a top.
That's important to us.
Yeah.
I feel like mine and yours are just are like this.
Okay.
So like mine's like attraction,
communication,
and then physical.
Yeah, I mean, I think really just to end this on that piece of advice, think about those important ones, think about the less important ones, and just prioritize those things and keep those lock solid when you go into a dating situation, because it's very easy to get a little shaky on the more important stuff when you have like Mr. Beautiful sitting across from you.
Yes. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram.
All the places. Yes. Follow us online.
I remember because I'm good at my job.
Give us a like, subscribe.
I just found out, so I'm new.
So remember, until next time, if you have no one else,
you got
us.
us.